Alright, Megowanan everyone, and welcome back to another trailer reaction video. This will be my reaction for the new 2024, the Spiderwick Chronicles. I've never read the books, but I was a fan of the 2008 or was it 2009 film. And here's a picture of it from 2008, and I guess it didn't do well. Didn't do well in the box office. I cannot remember, what how critics felt about it or how the people felt about it, because during this time it wasn't such a big thing where people were just critiquing everything like crazy, and then just everything coming out and then reviews on the YouTube, and they did have it, but it wasn't as bad as it is now, and everyone putting their 2 cents in and following along with what other people are saying, or you hear one thing from like maybe one or two expert reviewers like IGN or GameSpot or people like that, and then they kind of follow along with that and repeat what they say, even though maybe deep down inside they don't really hate it that much, or it wasn't so bad like that before. So sadly, because of that, the numbers weren't good at the box office. They didn't continue with it. It was supposed to be like a series, like a Harry Potter, or maybe not as many in the series. I don't know, how many books there were, but maybe something like a Lord of the Rings or Chronicles of Narnia or something. But it was supposed to continue on, but it didn't because of that reason. The original one here, I forgot who this girl, what her name is, but I've seen her before in Lazarus Project, I think is the film. She was like, I thought she was like a reporter or something in there, but she's grown up a bit from when she was here, just maybe by like a few years or so, I think. Just a little bit older than here. Now, these two here, this is Freddie Highmore, but he's playing a dual role, kind of like what they did with Lindsay Lohan in The Parent Trap. They did a special effects or something to make them appear together, and then just switch the camera back and forth, so to make it look like there's two. Freddie Highmore has since grown. You probably know him from The Good Doctor, but other things he starred in as he was growing up. Sometimes I get confused between him and Asa Butterfield and Cody Smith McPhee, those three, during the time when they were young, like from Hugo and The Road, or Let Me In, a remake of the Let the Right One In. But the original one also starred Mary Louise Parker. She was in there. For a brief bit, a brief scene, you have Nick Nolte, who was Mulgarat, I think was his name, and he voiced him. He's the ogre, the giant ogre in there. There's a hobgoblin in there, and I think he's like famous. Could it have been Jack Black? I'm not sure, but I can't remember. I think maybe it was him, but it was quite cool. A guy named Nathan Stratharn, I think was his name. He was it opens up with him. He's the one doing the research on these mythological kind of creatures, and put together the handbook that talks about the mythological creatures, like the fairies and things like that, and the orcs and the ogres and griffins and things like that. You might also know him from, he started a number of things, but also I think Game of Thrones, he was like, was that him? I think that was him, but he was also for sure in The Expanse. Well, anyways, it stars him. Now, the original one, it's just so great. I'll say, I have to say this one part where I felt this one had a lot of heart to it, especially I'll just say there's an old woman in here that you see like somewhere around the midpoint of the film, and it when it starts off, it's like a flashback when she was just a little girl, maybe 6 or 7, and now she's like an old woman, like 90 or something, 90 plus years old. And let's just say there's a part, I like the conversation with someone at the end, and I won't say anymore. I'll just say the scene is with a platform, and the platform is made of like butterflies or something, some mythological creatures, or sylphs or sylvans or something. They're mythological creatures like fairies or some sort. A platform made of those things, and let's say with a character standing on it, and the line is like, well, maybe take me with you this time, and then there's an intriguing look from the one on the platform, and that's all I'm gonna say. And just it makes it, I get choked up, let me say, every time when I see that. Okay, so now let's get to the remake of it. I'm not sure what to expect, but if it's anything like how they do remakes nowadays, it just seems like they just want to remake something just so they can like diversify it, and change the races from what's originally there. I'm all for diversity, so long as it's how it's originally written. Like, say if something's originally written where it is diverse, but then the original way was it wasn't, and say I didn't know that, and they make a remake, and okay, now that I see that that's originally how it was, even though the original may have a special place in my heart, I'll be okay. So they want to, this person was originally Chinese or something, or Mexican or black or whatever, then okay, and they just turned them all white for whatever reason. But I don't think it was so much a big deal, back in the early days, like that. They just made things what they were. But now it's like they're turning, like Hercules is going to be black, Little Mermaid's already black, Snow White is going to be Mexican or Hispanic or something. Scuttle is Asian, voiced by Aquafina, and a female. It starts off with just one thing, and they slowly creep it in. So people would just think, it's just a couple here, a couple there. Well, pretty soon it's going to be everything. I don't know if they're going to do that with this. And if they do, okay, I'll still check it out, but I don't know if it's going to have the same kind of emotional impact as the first one. And the only thing I could think of that would make this good is that maybe now we can finally see a complete chronicle, Spiderwick Chronicle of this, What else can I say? And also, see, I felt the diversity thing already did exist. Like, let's take sword and sorcery things, for example. Lord of the Rings. It's all pretty much completely white. And if there were Asian or black, they're somewhere off in the background. Okay, fine. But if originally it was written where, like Legolas, Aragorn, if they're all white or European-based people, I really feel that they should keep it that way. There's no need to diversify any main characters, because that's just how it was written originally, and that's how the original films were, based off of the original books. Something like Conan the Barbarian, which was like an 80s flick, that had diversity. Subutai, played by Jerry Lopez. I thought he was Chinese, but I think Jerry Lopez is Hispanic with the last name Lopez, but maybe he's playing Chinese. But he's a it's a diverse cast. You have Mako, who is the wizard. In the second one, Conan the Destroyer, the sequel, you had Grace Jones as Zula, right? You had Will Chamberlain in there, and he was a bad guy, and it was during those times when just because you're playing a minority character and you're bad, it's okay. It's not automatically, bad guy, a diverse, racially diverse character and he's bad. Now it's racism. It was during those times when it was just a normal thing. Anything goes, free for all. White, black, Hispanic can play a bad guy and it's okay. So if it was like racially diverse to begin with, that's cool. You know, there's certain fantasy worlds where the diversity thing, it's very prevalent, and that's cool. You know, such as the Conan. Willow, it didn't seem like it really had. It felt like that one was more like European white, right? And then they tried changing that with the series, and that was mistake. But it goes beyond that. It was the dialogue, and they were trying to make things like hip or whatever with the dialogue. Game of Thrones, that had diversity, even though it felt mostly European. But if you think about that, they go off to different areas. I can't remember where it was, what it was called, but was it called Dorne? That's more of like the Arabic kind of people. And they had those kind of features where Pedro Pascal was from, you know, and he was killed by the mountain. So you had that. It's just they were separate continents or lands or whatever where they come from, right? And the Dothraki and all that. So they had that. But if you were to just throw it in and everyone is like, you know, Jamie Lannister or whatever, Mexican, and this person, you know, then it kind of throws things off. Then you know, they're meant to be separated, you know, like that, unless there's maybe an area where they all kind of came together. I guess I can use a gaming terminology such as, I'm sorry I'm going too much into detail about this, but let's take like the Elder Scrolls, right? With Oblivion, it took place in Serial, which is like the capital city, so it's more diverse. So you'd have Khajiits, Dark Elves, you know, Imperials, all the races, Nords, Breton, come together. Skyrim, however, is more up north in Skyrim, of course, Nordic and more Viking kind of land. It makes sense that mostly the people there would be Nord. You'll maybe have some, you know, dark elves here and there. They're racist or prejudiced against Khajiits, so that's why they can't go inside the city and can only sell their wares outside the city and in caravans, things like that. So it depends on the land. So that's my 2 cents on that. Sorry that it took me like 12 minutes to freaking talk about that. Let's get down to it.
This town is full of stories.
My apologies for that.
Allow me to be your guide through the fantastical world around you.
Well, already, okay.
Welcome to Spiderwick.
Was that supposed to be the Mary Louise Parker character?
It's my fault.
The one who just said, "Welcome to Spiderwick"?
You've been going through a hard time for a while now.
I think so.
And we both know it's not getting better.
Once we clean this house up, this will be great.
That like
And I
half
know
black,
we can
half
all
Asian or
use a fresh
something.
start.
Oh, maybe.
Lucinda is my favorite person ever.
Remember the lessons I taught you.
It's full of secrets and surprises.
Oh, click clack. I forgot that. Thimbletack, right? That
My
mouse.
father cataloged each and every creature of the invisible world. The pages are in hidden vaults all over Henson.
The Grace family is coming. Arthur Spiderwick's field guide will soon be ours.
Is that Christian
It's
Slater?
a deceiver, a shapeshifter.
The world would be a better place without
What the-
humans.
Find the pages.
Was that
Put
Abigail
Spiderwick's
Breslin
field guide
in the
back
car?
together. You have to help save everyone. I'm just a kid. That's why you can succeed.
Yeah, you have to look through that and you can see all the mythological creatures. Thimbletack, maybe. It's a brownie, right? Yeah, that is Christian Slater.
I'm an ogre. I want everything more.
A hobgoblin have to spit in your eyes
Trust anyone.
to give you the gift of sight.
A reckoning is coming.
You must
Right.
be ready for the coming
The
fight.
sister is good at fencing.
Having someone believe in you
Remember that?
is the most powerful form of magic there is.
Oh, it's not in the theater. Okay, watch free April
I'm so
19th.
glad you came.
Okay, hey, okay, that's very cool. I don't have to wait long. So as you can see, I'm still going to see it. I'm still excited for it. I just felt, maybe I'm wrong. As I said, I know nothing of the books. Maybe I'm wrong, and they started off in the books, they're supposed to be black. The characters are black, and then they turn them white. I don't know. And if that's the case, then so be it. But aside from that, and my issue isn't that, there's black characters, Chinese or Hispanic, when they do these things. There's no need to remake things or change how the original way went just to have the diversity. Create new stories that have them, I feel, is better. And same goes for things like Princess and the Frog, Mulan, just all of those things. Just if they're originally black, like in Princess and the Frog, or Asian, right, in Mulan, you keep them that way. Don't turn them something else. Turn them into something else. So that's all I am saying. I'm still excited for this one. I absolutely want to check this out. Oh, another thing I just noticed, series. Okay. So much like his Dark Material, which I thought the Golden Compass movie was also underrated, but we get an expanded world of this place. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so that's going to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you.